I not only have the studio multitracks for the version we all know and love, I have multitrack vocals for his home demo. It is amazing. There is so much to unpack here. Spoiler alert, this is going to be a little bit longer of a video because I want to give ample time to appreciate the nuances in the instrumental arrangement and in the studio vocals, all the different things going on there. And then I also want to spend some time going through the demo performances and all the layers. I have all the multi-tracks for those. There's so many fun things to go through. So the reason I'm able to do videos like this and pour so deeply into a particular singer's style with the original content is because this is a singing channel. I teach people through this material. I teach you how to pull inspiration from your favorite singers and create moments with your own voice. Learn with your own voice. So I've got to start and stop. I can't play the whole song. Thank you, MJ copyright holders, for allowing this to be on YouTube as fair use. If you'd like more help diving into your own voice and learning freely without passing judgment on yourself while you're learning, click the link below and join my free voice course. All right, let's do it. As has become the norm, let's take some time and appreciate various isolated instrumental gems. Here's the basic percussion groove. The details, this music I've listened to for so many years. If you listen really carefully, if you've got a good pair of headphones on, you can actually hear, even in these tracks, some headphone bleed, like little bits of singing and things coming in from headphones from other places. It's quite interesting. You can hear Michael back there barely. Okay, and this iconic bass line, we have two different sounds coming from the bass, and I think this is just amazing. Notice how the distortion sort of whumps, and then there's this bass synth. And what we hear in the final mix is an amalgamation of these two. It's fun to play with the levels and see, you know, oh, am I getting it close to what the original is? I can't possibly, but I think it's really interesting to listen to this performed bass here. Sounds like there may be some submixing or some comping going on here, but where you have those like emphasized notes and the octaves that are happening. Never would have guessed that would be the vibe listening to the full mix. It's really interesting. Huh. And then these sustain notes here. Very organic, wow. Let's get into some of these other sounds. I get to hear the actual hook in isolation. Ugh. Huh, cool. Did you ever think that it was so layered? I didn't. There's like that ninth going on. That's cool. Never heard that before either. Where is that? It's in these. Down here. Yeah. Cool. Huh. And then these are just gems. Listen to these, the real thing here. Oh. You can hear the track playing in the background, right? Them listening to what's there as they add as the string players add. That's cool. There's low end in this bleed. And you hear like the mouths of the and fidgeting a little bit of the viola players. What this tells me is that they're probably not wearing headphones. They probably have their speakers on because there's that low end, because headphones don't have any low end that the mics would pick up. They'd hear the fizzier stuff, right? So they have this room where these viola players are playing, and maybe off in the distance away from the mics, facing away from the mics, and out of phase potentially, they're able to hear through that. Just interesting to hear that it's actually there in the final recordings, but mixed or masked out and not loud enough. Let's appreciate these strings just a bit more.
Not my son. No. Billie Jean, not my love. She's just a girl.
Soundtrack version, right? Wow. Now, what's really interesting is when you start putting these organic strings in, with some of the other synth elements, it really becomes fun. I heard something there. Go back and check it. Let's see here. Hear the room noise and just that sense of place that these strings have. The bows kind of, you hear the friction of the bows and the reverberation from the room. That's special. That's really cool. All right. Listen to some guitars. So simple and groovy. Put the JP in here. Ready? Ah. This sound and all the imperfections that you hear, string bleed and I think that's part of what makes it so awesome. But that where we got the muted strings, it's doubled. He's like playing a drum set with the way he accents these strings. And then, of course, there's tonality with the strings. What a all-in-one sort of one-man band thing happening with these guitars that also perfectly complements the rest of the arrangement, right? If he was just playing the notes, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, it's just not going to matter as much. There's something so wonderful about the way that this was played with that percussive muted picking there. Let's get into these vocals. We're going to do the studio recording, and then we're going to go over and sort of contrast that with the home demo stuff.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She said, I am the one who would dance on the floor in the round.
Again, you've got the low end in his headphone bleed, which I wouldn't be surprised if he's recording through, an SM7B and he's got, he might have some headphones on to help him hear, but I bet he wants to feel the music. And you can tell, I've said this in so many other Michael Jackson videos where he's dancing, he's snapping, he's bringing his full body. This is a full performance. This is not just a vocal performance. Even though he's in the studio, there's so much going on with his body and his whole being that's what dials in the vocals that we hear so well. Snaps, the ad-libs he's doing, even in the midst of the melody in this single take.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one.
I tell you, I did not know. I thought this was just a panned synth with some detuning on it or something. This is Michael, edited, but Michael. how much it goes through the whole thing.
And around.
This is cool. Okay, ready?
Who would dance on the floor and around? Who would dance on the floor and around?
Floor. Hear that sigh? The worried sigh? Dance the floor. Don't just listen to this stuff. Really internalize it and speak it or sing it back. Try to get in the mind and the character of what he projects here. You'll enjoy it a lot more. And you'll learn some things about your voice, too.
Who would dance on the floor and around? People always told me.
This little inhale squeaks. Percussive. He does it on beat. Oh, so cool.
People.
Try it.
People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love. And be careful what you do. Cause the lie become the truth. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my love.
I just did it. This rhythmic exit from notes. Signature Michael Jackson. What really stands out to me about this section is these things, they sound very haphazard.
The Billie Jean is not my love.
Of course, that choir come in, but like they layer in gradually. They're very imprecise. You wouldn't think that they would be that imprecise, but there's something extra cool about that they are imprecise, but they're free-flowing, and it makes things actually feel more accurate because they're not so calculated, right? Listen to the way he flows into these things.
And mother always told me, be careful who you love, and be careful what you do, cause the lie become the truth. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is
I am the one. I am the one. A huge part of the magic of what here, this isn't his highest song, this isn't his grittiest song, but I think in this song he does one of the best jobs of any other song of being the vocal drummer in between the lines. There's not a lot of like blatant beatboxing here, but all those little shrieks and squeals and percussive exits. There's something so powerful about them, even though you don't hear all of them. They propel, they just make you want to move, especially when you're trying some of these things with your own voice.
Ooh, could the lie become the truth? Hey,
How he grits it, cause the lie become the truth. Hey, and then cleans it up.
ooh, could the lie become the truth? Hey, the Billie Jean is not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. Woo! She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son. No.
And that some of these aren't on beat, right? He's so strong in how he's on beat and in the pocket. On beat is not the right word. In the pocket is the right word. And then listen to how he lags here with some of these other vocals.
But the kid is not my son.
No. It's behind while the he's are in there on beat. Oh, to really get a sense of this, let's put the claps in. Listen to how his pocket changes and how he drags this.
She says I am the one. but the kid is not my son. No, no.
It's almost like a no, no. There's almost a triplet thing going. I'm sure he's not thinking triplet. Maybe he is, but it's this pulling of time with the vocals. Brilliant.
She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son. No, no. For 40 days and for 40 nights, I was on her side. But who can stand when she's in demand? Her schemes and plans. Go and dance on the floor and around.
Her schemes, her plans. Listen to that.
Her schemes and plans.
There's a punch there, right? He was down to out of breath.
Stand when she's in demand. Her schemes and plans.
Her schemes, her... Bottom of my breath. Her schemes, her plans. Punch. Go. It's neat to hear stuff like that you kind of get a sense that he's using the full range of his breath in the full mix, but it's cool to have that sort of verified, right?
Stand when she's in demand, her schemes and plans.
You can hear that cut breath. There's a punch there.
Plans. Go and dance on the floor and around. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice.
Ooh, these are cool. Let's put these in here.
Plan. Strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Don't think twice. She told my baby.
Okay, let's solo out just those highly affected in advance of the lead.
Don't think twice. Oh.
What cool sounds.
Then she looked at me, then showed a photo. My baby cried, his eyes were like mine. Go and dance on the floor in the round, babe. People always told me, be careful what you do.
Kind of fun hearing him do stuff like that. If you've heard the warm-up that he does with Seth Riggs, I've done a video on that. Listen to this.
In the round, babe.
That sounds like something straight out of a warm-up. And it's fun to hear vocalists pull things from their warm-ups, from their practicing, and you hear what they do in their warm-ups and their practicing, and then you hear it actualized in a musical setting, and sometimes it's not that far off from what they're doing in their warm-ups. It just shows you how very musical Michael was all the time, because even his warm-ups that Seth Riggs led him through were so incredibly musical.
In the round, babe.
How he goes from, ooh. Like, that's just a good vocal warm-up to this. One of the first things I do when I warm up is go from an engaged head voice and then slide down into my chest voice. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feeling out that transition between. Sometimes I try to let it break. Sometimes I try to smooth out that break and feel that out.
People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. Don't break no. But she came and stood right by me. Twas a smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Hey, the Billie Jean.
I love it. It's this random sort of entrance. I don't hear it like that near as much, if at all, in the final mix. So much detail there.
This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No.
A little hee down there.
No. The Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No. She says I am the one. but the kid is not my son. No.
I've always really appreciated in this melody, and really noticed it when I was trying to cover Chris Cornell's version of this song. He's saying kid. But the kid is not my son. But the kid is. He's not saying, but the kid is not my son. He's not kidding. It's not a kid. It's a kid. And when I was first working on covering this song, because I wanted to hit the note, I opened up that vowel. But the kid is not my son. No, no, no. And I remember listening back to my recording going, ugh, what's a kid? What's a kid? And that note is not as high for Michael Jackson as it is for me. But attentiveness to how you are saying words, how you are leaning into vowels, it's not always about what makes the vocal tone sound the best. You know, it isn't necessarily a pretty sound. You have to think of the story. You have to think about what the song, what the melody needs in global context. Otherwise, you wind up with these strangely open vowels that I think really take away from the lyrical power of a song.
The kid is, I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. No, no, she says I am the one, but the kid is not my son.
And listen to the way the background vocals do kid.
I am the one, you know, but the kid is not my son.
He strikes a perfect balance between kid, and kid, right? He's not doing either of those things. He's kid. It's a slightly more opened I, but you hear it as kid. You don't hear it as ked. He's very attentive to this kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. Some of the off-mic things you would never, ever hear. Let's turn that up a little bit and just enjoy some of these things. Oh, there's lots there. Cool. Sniffing.
She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son. No. Woo. The Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one.
I like that change in the melody there.
She's just a girl who.
She's just a girl who. She's just a girl who. That heat on the girl.
She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. No.
Oh, listen to how he weeps in there.
No.
No. His head voice whimpers, grounding in his chest voice and going back and forth so seamlessly.
No.
It's like we spend so much time trying to make our voice solid and confident. I want to be a confident, good singer. I don't know. There's something in the vulnerability, in the intentional vulnerability that you hear in Michael's voice that makes it way, way cooler, way more relatable. Because he's not always a confident, awesome singer. Well, he is, but he is because he allows vulnerable parts of his voice to be exaggerated and used as strengths. So key.
No, babe. Not my son. Woo! She says I am the one. You know what you did. She says he is my son. Breaking my heart, babe.
Oh,
she
yeah.
says I am the one. The Billie Jean.
Let's throw these other ad-libs in there, too.
She says he is my son. Breaking my heart, babe. She says I am the one. The Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is not my lover.
Okay, so there's some comping, submixing here on this. Because that's what they've done is they've taken multiple tracks and put them into this one track digitally. So originally they existed in multiple tape recording tracks. And where they submix them along the road, because they're doing so many recordings, so many layers that there's a chance that some of these may have gotten submixed even in the tape recording process before they went to digital. We can't tell from these tracks. Although some of the demo versions, I do have I have more vocal tracks there. It'll be interesting to check those out with you and see what they actually are, even though they're labeled as demo. And how much more detail we have there.
Not my love. She's just the Billie Jean is not my love. She's just sing the Billie Jean is not. Oh, the Billie Jean is.
Here are the dissonances there. That's really interesting.
The Billie Jean is. The Billie Jean is. Woo!
Yeah.
Ooh, babe. Oh, babe. Oh, darling. Oh, babe. Oh, darling. Ooh. You know you ain't not my lover. You know you can't not my lover. Check this one time. Not my lover.
Cool.
Not my lover. The Billie Jean is not my love. The Billie Jean is not my love. The Billie Jean is not my love. The Billie Jean is not my love.
Finally stop the loops.
We'll be up.
Cool.
We'll be up.
Oh, I love stuff like that.
The Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is Bruce.
That's so cool. Bruce.
The Billie Jean is Bruce.
Well, shall we check out some of the home demo? And scratch tracks? I don't know what to make of these. I know that there's a 1981 home demo version of this song, but I never really know exactly what I'm getting. So let's just dive in and appreciate some of these things. Now, you can see here I've got a lot more breakouts of all of the vocals, right? We have like the full stack, whereas in the studio stems there were some of these that were submixed. So it'll be interesting to hear the similarities and differences and solo things out, make a few observations. Just go for it. Thanks for hanging around, by the way. This is a long video. So just the lead vocal scratch is what this one is right now. Cool. Okay, so he starts out just doing that.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor and around.
I want to hear what this does. Just these three.
Who would dance on the floor and around.
Okay, the whole thing.
Who would dance on the floor and around.
It's largely fleshed out, and I like that we have all these individual ones so we can hear the different performances. That's cool.
Who would dance on the floor and around. who would dance on the floor in the round?
What about this one?
Who would dance on the floor in the round?
It's like not even all there. It's cool.
Who would dance on the floor in the round?
Huh.
I am the one who would dance on the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean, and she caused a scene. Then heavy hair turned with eyes to dream to be the one.
So we know that these are all like fully multi-tracked out. That's neat.
In the one who would dance on the floor in the round. People always told me, be careful what you do, and don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love.
This will be interesting to hear. And I've got to stop it every once in a while just to make sure that we're not functioning as a replacement for the original, according to copyright law.
And be careful what you do, could the lie become the truth? Hey, the Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. Oh, no. But the kid.
I'm excited to get into and hearing more of these in
Billie
detail.
Jean is not my lover.
So doubles.
She's just a girl who claims that I am the one.
Huh.
Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one.
Oh, cool.
But the kid is not my son. She says I'm the one. But the kid is not my son.
Part of what makes stacked vocals like this so compelling and fun to listen to is that each one is performed slightly differently. So you couldn't go in and just, okay, I'm going to sing it once and then I'm going to duplicate these tracks and pan them different places because you wouldn't have the variances in performance. The width that we hear here,
Billie Jean is not my lover. She just
is because of the fact that we have all the different nuances in each performance that creates that width. Simply duplicating a digital track or putting different effects on one vocal performance isn't going to do it. This is why it's so cool sounding.
kid is not my son.
The variances between the two sides
She says I'm the one.
create the interest and the width.
The kid is not my son. She says
Doesn't finish it there in the scratch track.
Kid is not my son. She says but the kid is not my son.
What's also interesting here is that when you solo out this scratch track, you hear some of these other background vocals there. So clearly he's practicing or laying down this track, this scratch track, after he's laid down these. So he may have done a couple passes of the lead vocal and then went, okay, that's good enough. Let's go lay down these background vocals with the original lead vocal scratch. And then he's doing another scratch. He's practicing again with his background vocals in there to give him vibe. That's fun to hear. It's fun to hear that order of approach.
Not my son. She says but the kid is not my son.
What's this?
Not my son. For 40 days and for 40 nights, I was in the right, but she didn't know what was going on all of the time.
Something listening here?
Oh, what was going on all of the
It sounds like a chair.
He didn't know what was going on all of the time.
Would not be surprised if he was sitting down. No, I don't know. It sounds like a
He
chair.
didn't know what was going on all of the time. Could we dance on the floor and around? So take.
Come to think of it, I don't hear like this normal stomping. Could he be sitting in a chair doing a scratch? I sit down all the time to record, but it seems with how much his body gets involved, I mean, no wonder you hear the creaking. Or maybe it's not a chair and I don't know what I'm talking about, but fun to think about.
didn't know what was going on all of the time.
Could be handling the mic
Go
in some way.
dance on the floor and around.
Lots of people. Chris Cornell
So
sang a lot of the Audio Slave vocals sitting down. Like those blistering, yeah. So it's not uncommon. Devin Townsend records a lot of his vocals sitting down.
take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice.
You can hear the mic proximity, like leaning back and forth from the mic here.
Remember to always think twice. Do think twice.
Ooh, that was a neat articulation.
You told me.
Wow.
Remember to always think twice.
Pretty precise. Very, very vanilla to go with his extra soulful lead.
'Cause we dance on the floor and around.
A lot of vibrato. Worried sounding.
And then the smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. You know me, the kid.
I've always liked that about this song. When you listen to how much like pressure is built up on just a girl and then claims, the contrast there.
Just a girl who claims that I am the.
You really hear in the background vocals here without the lead vocal supporting it, but I noticed that in the original studio mix too.
Just a girl who claims that.
Just a girl who claims that. I'm exaggerating it like crazy, right? But it's like this, you build this pressure. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. And then are intentionally light in how you approach that. In other words, we're not going, just a girl who claims that I am the one. I mean, that's a totally different song. Totally different song in isolation.
She's just a girl who claims that I am the one.
Girl claims. There's not that much difference between those notes. Fourth.
Claims that
And here.
not my lover.
Okay, he's in head voice the whole time.
She's just a girl who claims that I am the one.
So you don't hear that contrast there.
Not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I
Head voice all the way there.
not my lover.
Head voice.
She's just a girl who
Okay, right here.
not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one.
There's that contrast there.
Not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one.
And then to add to the contrast, these vocals don't even have that section. They're these lower ones. So we have that cool sound, that building up of that low energy, and then that abandonment in the arrangement into the claims that.
Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one.
Yeah.
But the kid is not my son.
So after doing what I just did, more than I thought of that release into that claims that it's less about the performances. She's just a girl who claims that. It's not that contrast at any one take. But the way it's arranged and harmonized and mixed, I can hear now that it's more about the way it was arranged. We build in, it's just a girl, there's lots of that, and then claims that there's fewer tracks, there's head voice only. Pretty cool. It's more about the arranging than I thought. And I like that I came about that conclusion by listening to these tracks.
The Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. You know what you did, babe? You know me.
That was cool. Listening to this again. I'm going to turn that up.
You know me. Jump, jump. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Cool.
She's She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son. No, 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 no. The Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who.
There's that same melody line divergence that is so awesome.
She's just a girl who.
A lot cleaner on this one.
She's just a girl who. Know what you did to me. She's just a girl who. You know what you did to me, baby.
Kind of neat.
No, 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 no.
False start.
No, 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 no. You know what you did. She says he's my son.
Oh, cool.
She says I am the one. Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is not my love. You know what you did, baby. Billie Jean is not my love. The Billie Jean is not my love. You're a Billie Jean girl. Billie Jean is not my love. Down about you sing. Billie Jean is not. Oh, the Billie Jean is.
All those kind of oohs coming in at slightly different times.
Jean is. Oh, the Billie Jean is. Oh, the Billie Jean is.
Different pitches too.
Just take this one time now.
Handling the mic noise, maybe.
Just one time now. Just take this one time. Babe. Not my lover. Not my lover.
For the fade, right? These are all for the fade.
Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is. The Billie Jean is. The Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean.
Oh, all that variance and width and tonal characteristics.
Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is. Ooh, the Billie.
That's fun.
Ooh, the.
Ooh. Remember that warm-up thing I was talking about? That's another just sort of playful way that you would warm up, you like use in your warm-ups. And then he's putting that playfulness into his vocal performance. And he does that in lots of ways. This is a more obvious way, but he's doing it constantly, honestly. He's so playful with his voice, more precise at sometimes than others, but evidence that he can put this in a track.
Jean is. Ooh, the Billie Jean is. Ooh, the Billie Jean.
Right? All those little, like, it's part of the vocal experience. When you are a vocalist, letting weird sounds come out in the midst of what you're doing, and those weird sounds leading to cool vocalizations that are singing, the lines start blurring a lot between singing, weird noises, speaking. They all sort of become one thing. And that's when you become a great vocalist. Michael Jackson has fused those things so perfectly.
Jean is. Ooh, the Billie Jean is. Ooh, the Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is.
Ba, ba, ba.
Jean is.
Cool.
The Billie Jean is.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
The Billie Jean.
Clearing of the throat.
The Billie Jean is not my lover. The Billie Jean is not my lover. To Billie Jean. Bruce?
I want to hear something.
Billie Jean. Bruce?
Now that Bruce is the same Bruce that we had in our, quote, studio files as was in the demo files. That's why I was saying I never really know what I'm getting. There's clearly things in the lead vocal from the studio files that, like, they're different than what I got in the demo scratch track. I would appreciate in the comments if you know more about, and you've heard lore or neat stories about the ways that the demo and the full studio recording came together. I'd love to hear those stories. Thank you so much for being here with me, for going through this very long video, for enjoying these tracks, for bearing with me as I experiment with my own voice. Again, if you'd like more help diving into your own voice, click that link below and join my free voice course. We'll see you for more.